Welcome guys. In this session, I'm going to show you how you can deal with input fields using our HTML forms in React applications. So let me come back to the code. See, for this, what we need to do is first let us create one component inside the components folder. Let's call it as myform.js. Oh, sorry, right click, rename myform.js. Okay, it's going to be a JavaScript file. So here I'm going to create a function called as myform. Let's bring the parenthesis and then the return statement like this and give semicolon at the last, and inside this one we'll have one div tag which will simply have one form like this, form open and close, and it is going to have one input field, input type equal to text, where we are going to enter some value, and every form will have one input type equal to submit button. So let me type submit, okay, like this, and I think we are done with our form. So our component will have the export statement at the last. So let me say export default my form. So here at the top, let me import the React library rest from React. So I'm importing this class which is called as React from this library which is called as React in small letters. So we have our form ready with us. So let us show that inside app.js after this h1 tag. So my form, close it like this, and write the import statement at the top. Import my form, okay, from this components folder and from this file which is called as myform.js. So now let me save it and let's go and check out the browser, and as you can see we have got our form where we can type something, and when we click on the submit button, here I want to display that name whatever they have typed down. So let's go back to our screen, and let's say in my form, after this form itself, okay, I have one paragraph. I will say entered name is whatever name they are going to type. So let us save that file, go to the web browser and check like this. So here we have entered name is, and here the name is going to get displayed whatever they are going to enter into that input field. So first of all, what I'm going to do is just to display those two names, okay, one name, I'm going to create a hook inside the function, and just before the return statement you have to do this. I'll say constant, okay, there will be a text which is going to get entered by the user, and set text, I'm going to create this hook, and I will say at the beginning use the state. I'm going to use the use state function, and at the beginning the state of this text is going to be an empty string, so that's why we have given double quotes over here, and that also we have to import here at the top. And now what is going to happen is whenever you are typing something in that input field, okay, that value should get shown to us on the input field. So that value is going to be this text variable which we have just created here in the hook. And whenever we are changing, okay, whenever we are changing the values inside the input text, okay, all those values should get transferred to this page, this text variable, by using this particular function. So for that, what I'll do is I'm going to create a function inside this function itself, and I'll say get the value. Okay, this is going to get the value from that input field. So e is the event which is going to happen. So e dot target target dot value. So whatever value they are going to type inside the input field, that I'm going to capture it like this. Okay, and then I'll call the set text function, okay, and put this one inside that particular this thing. Okay, now whenever this function gets called, okay, this function will get called every time the input is given in the input field. So on change event I'm going to create, okay, of JavaScript, I'm going to call that, and I'll say get value is the function which you have to call every single time whenever somebody enters something inside the input field, and it is going to call the set text function, and the value it is going to get captured as this particular text which we are trying to show here on the screen. Okay, now let me save this one, and let's go to our browser and check out like this. See, whatever we are typing right now, okay, that is going to get displayed on the screen like this. This is like on change event which is happening again and again. Okay, now what I need to do is I need to print this name, okay, whatever this name they are going to type here. Whenever I click on the submit, or whenever this form gets submitted, okay, that name should appear over here, like the name entered is something like this. Okay, so for that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to create one more function. Okay, I'm going to create one more function. I'll say it as function. Okay, I'll simply name it as print name or something like this. Okay, and here also one event variable is going to come. Okay, and I'm going to say like this, okay, set, okay, I'm going to set the value of this particular text every time they submit the form, whole thing. So for that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to create one more hook like this, and I will say value entered, value entered, and set the value entered. Like this setter function I'm going to create, and I'll say at the beginning use a state, and that is also is going to be an empty string like this. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to call this set entered value. Okay, set entered value as this particular text whatever they have entered. So this I'll copy, and inside this function I'm going to paste it like this. Okay, and now see one more thing what we have to do is, see, this function is going to happen every time the form gets submitted, every time the form gets submitted. So by default, okay, this form will get keep on getting submitted. So what I'm going to do is e dot, okay, there is a function called as prevent default, prevent default, FAULT. Okay, I want to prevent, okay, the default form submission every single time when I click on the submit button. Okay, it should not happen automatically. So whenever I click, then only it should get submitted. Okay, so what I'm going to do is this print name function, I'm going to call it over here, like on click event I'm going to create on this particular submit button. So on click, I want to say that there is a function called as print name that we have to call. Okay, and it is going to set the text to this particular variable text which they have entered. Okay, and this variable name, okay, value which is fully entered, that is what we are going to show here inside the curly brace like this. This is the value which is going to get entered. So let's go to our browser and check out the functionality. So let me type like this, okay, JOHN John, and when I click on submit, so the name should get submitted over here. It says the name is John, or entered name is John like this. And see, now what I have to do is I have to manually remove this and type some other name if I want to. Okay, like if I say Terry, hit enter, and then it's displaying like this, but this is not going away. So what I need to do is when I click on submit, this again it should get back to empty string like this. So for that reason what I'm going to do is, see, as soon as the set text value is done, okay, this text variable, okay, I'm going to set it back to empty string. So this is the function which I'm going to call once again here, okay, and set the text back to empty string like this. Okay, so what this will do is as soon as you enter something, see, let me say like this, okay, Amy, okay, that is the name I want to display. And when I click on the submit, see, it is displaying Amy on the screen, and that text is also gone. Okay, the state of that text has become empty string again. Okay, so this is how you can handle all the input variations which are going to happen inside this form. Okay, so this is how we have done it using a click event, okay, on that particular button itself. Okay, this can also be performed using a submit on submit event. Okay, so let me just cut it from here, cut this from here, and I can put that event on that particular form itself here at the top. And I can say instead of on click event, I can say on submit. On submit, this function should run. Okay, and it should happen all the things whatever was happening as previously with the click event. So let me go back to the screen, and now let me say like this, okay, JOHN John, and when I click on this submit, see, it says submit. Okay, so enter name is John. Okay, both ways you can do it, either by having an on submit event, or you can put that to that particular button itself using the on submit button. Okay, so this is how you can handle HTML forms in React applications.